We had the Super Bowl happen over the weekend, and I feel like it just kind of came and delivered. So it would be cool to be able to jump in. We're keen to give you what our thoughts were behind some of the advertisements. And yeah, it's a blast for marketers. This is like our grand final.
That Christmas.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome to see how creative brands can get, and we're excited to talk through it.
Yeah, I think we went through and watched pretty much all of the Super Bowl ads. And so for us, it's like watching great work happen from people in our industry. And so we want to go through the ones that we think really nailed the brief. And I think maybe we can give our framing of how we kind of assess these ads and what we're looking for. And yeah, we're going to go through which ones we think are the winners. And then maybe I've got a few that I was like, whoa, what happened there? Something missed the mark. And it's only minor things. So let's get into it. Yeah. What was your favorite this year, Von?
I was going to ask you first. Well, I guess the bonus that we're husband and wife, we do share and chat a lot about our ideas. We had the same favorite, didn't we?
We did.
Yes. And it was the Poppy commercial. I guess Poppy's like a probiotic soda.
I think it's just a low sugar. I'm not sure exactly what they sell. But they sell some sort of like fizzy drink, soda, soft drink solution. And why did you love it, Von?
I think it really hit the pain point that we all experience when we're just needing a refreshment and we're needing just like that permission to be able to open up a poppy or open up a soda drink that's full of color and life to like help us be in a better mood, if that makes sense. Like they really hit that string of, oh, should I have it? Should I not? It's like, no, like stop. What they say, stop spiraling, have a poppy. Like just have a bit of fun with your life. And I think the way that they were able to deliver that, and also they incorporated a lot of very relevant rock star influencers, or I should say like just leaders in that space, which then really made the whole thing really exciting to see. You were like really excited when they were on the screen. And I think even if they weren't in it, I think I still would have had it as my favorite ad, which is really showing something about the type of concept that was delivered as well.
Yeah, so I had no idea who anyone was in the ad. When you're like, oh, look, it's all Alex Earl. I'm like, who's that?
Yeah,
it's like,
Alex Earl's Jake Shane. And
I had no idea who they were, but I had the same ad as my favorite. And the reason was when you're creating content for your consumer, you want it to be entertaining, which it was, but you want to hit the one objection and pick an objection that is very strong and show why your product or service relieves that. If you can do both of those things really well, it just really works to change behavior. And so I think the Poppy ad really hit on that. Oh, I'm going to have a drink. Oh, should I get a mineral water? It's kind of bland. Oh, the other person's getting a shake. And it's like, it's not that refreshing feeling. Like you finish mowing the lawn and it's like, what's that drink you have?
Yes.
And so that was and then it was, but it's like 5 grams of sugar. So it still tastes sweet. It's still okay. And it's refreshing. So you can get that satisfaction quenching the thirst without feeling like you're sacrificing your health, which is what we all do. When we would drink soft drink all day, every day, if it was healthy. And so that's
why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't the world?
Everyone loves the taste, but everyone thinks, okay, it's not worth the health sacrifices. Yeah. And so they just nailed that for like 40 seconds and just smashed it. And I was like, wow, I just want to drink that.
Me too. I want it beside my desk every day. It kind of like had such a strong association to you being able to be in a better state, which is incredible. If you can alter someone's state through advertising, you know that you've delivered an extraordinary ad, because that's what storytelling and what emotional, I guess, like engagement is all about. Like the moment that you can emotionally hook someone from an engagement point of view, you have them 100%. Like I'm so excited to hopefully see Poppy now in Australia. Like what? 40 seconds of an ad. That's crazy altered state behavior. So yeah, go Poppy. That's our number one.
Yeah, I think some honorable mentions. I think T-Mobile and Starlink did a really good job of making an offer to people in the audience that is nearly irrefusable.
Yes.
Which was,
talk about.
I think from all of the ads that were there was very few that had a strong call to action that was almost like this is a no-brainer. I think making a no-brainer offer is very powerful to get people to drive action. Like we were talking about association and brand. They were able to just be like, hey, have free Starlink on any device. So you don't need to go and get a new device on your mobile in the US for the next 4 months, which is just such a powerful offer. It's like, wow, why would I not get unlimited coverage as long as I can see the sky? I have mobile network coverage. And for the US, it's very different to Australia, where in Australia, if you're with Telstra, you get coverage everywhere. You go to the US, it's like you go from California to New York, and your provider just like doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like different states have different coverage, or all separated networks, whereas here, we're so used to just having pretty good coverage everywhere, whether you're with Optus or Telstra or Vodafone, like they're all using the same networks. The US is so segmented. And we found this.
So it's in Canada.
Yeah, Canada, we had the same issue where we were like, we went from Vancouver to Alberta and you lose your mobile reception. Anyway, I'm taking a big tangent, but the offer was so strong. And I think that's a really interesting offer that I think a lot of the other brands missed the opportunity to really do. Like, what is that offer? Another honorable mention was the Mountain Dew Seal ad.
Yes, that one was so funny. I love that one. If anyone knows the artist, like the musician Seal, they very much played into the fact that Seal could become, in fact, a seal. And it was the most random ad. But it did create a likability towards Mountain Dew that I feel like I hadn't had for a long time. So I think, yeah, making something so outrageous. And they even called it out in the ad being like, this is the weirdest thing that I've ever seen. And I'm like, yes, it is. And it just, I don't know, reinforced like a friendship with Mountain Dew.
Yeah, the creatives did a really good job of playing into the consumer, like almost being alongside them. It's like, yeah, we're on the same journey together here. This is crazy.
Yeah, I really liked that aspect.
So that was cool. I have one that I think just like completely missed the mark.
Okay.
And so
Which one's that?
all of these ads were running in between plays and throughout the day, or released beforehand. The halftime show happens. Kendrick comes out and plays a bunch of absolute bangers. The whole world is watching that show. And then at the end of the show, it cuts to 20 seconds of the Apple Music logo and says, brought to you by Apple Music. And then just sits on the logo for 20 seconds. And I'm like, Apple, this is the moment you could have drawn that feeling through, and they just missed the mark. And they paid top dollar to get everything. Everyone's associating the halftime performance with Kendrick, not with Apple. But they could have nailed that moment, and they just could have left it on the table. It's like they got 70% of the way through and just forgot to cross the I's and dot the T's. And I think that was the biggest miss from an advertising and influence perspective for a brand. And it is kind of reminiscent of how I feel about the way Apple's going. It's like, they just can't seem to get it right. And I think that was just a massive miss from a marketing opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, you have such a prime slot. I feel like brands would have killed to have had that moment. And it's a shame. Glad they got their logo, but probably not in the best way.
Yeah, let's talk about Super Bowl as a cultural moment, though, from an advertising perspective, and like why we as marketers look at that as the grand final. Like, what do you take away from it?
Oh, I mean, the Super Bowl has been renowned for delivering endless amounts of hype. There's so much camaraderie in the United States when it comes to sport, when it comes to that particular industry. And I think it brings about celebrities, it brings about advertising, it brings about money and high energy. And, you know, there's a lot of different things that make up the success of why the Super Bowl has so much. But I love the thought that they've made ads into different cultural moments, because that's what ads should do. And so I love that it's almost been I don't know, maybe it's just in the advertising industry we like to look at it, but I do think...
Oh, no, the whole world watches the ads.
Yeah, of course. But it's good to see that the advertising gets to kind of like reach out and touch the customer in like a whole other way, that like you want to have the eyeballs at that time, which I think is unique. It's not like we all sit on the edge of our TV each day waiting for what ads are going to play. So I really like the shift that it plays and gives us the attention.
Yeah, I think that's because the ads outside of the Super Bowl suck.
It's a great read on how we could, as marketers, make better ads.
I think we get pushed into the performance, buy my stuff advertising approach, which understand drive short-term results, but no one remembers them. Like you might get a sugar hit, but it's a good, like they play into the cultural moment. People invest heavily, but I think of it in social every day, like the brands that do it well and like tell stories. And Jacob shared with us a restaurant in Melbourne, and they're using a film script writer to write scripts about their restaurants and almost play the restaurant as part of a story. And I thought that was like an example of taking the Super Bowl concept of telling stories and shifting behavior and connecting with customers down into a social activation that happens every week. And it's like, wow, that kind of advertising is way more effective. And so it comes back to that creative strategy and creative execution. And it doesn't just need to be in Super Bowl ads. I think there's that bringing creative strategy and creative execution and storytelling into social rather than just a graphic that says, buy my product 10 to 15% off. Here's what it does. Like change the behavior with video.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. I wanted to quickly give an honorable mention to the Pringles ad as well, because I had Adam Brody, who plays Seth Cohen in the OC, and I think he did a fantastic job starting off the advertisement and then it leading into the follow of the mustache, which is an amazing way to bring Pringles to life through its almost, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not its logo. Maybe it is. It's like the prominent part of its caricature or its logo, following mustaches around. I don't know. I felt like they did an incredible job. So quick mention to those ones too.
It reminded me of like the McDonald's ads where they really embellish the golden arches.
Yeah.
It was like Pringles' moment to embellish the mustache.
So true.
So if you think about Pringles before this conversation, you probably didn't remember that it has a mustache on it.
Yeah. No, I didn't. And then now I do.
Now it's just so prominent. It's a really big brand builder for the logo. So that when you're walking through the supermarket, it's that
mustache and that affiliation to
and the tube. Anyway,
funny.
very, very good. Go and watch this. We'll list all those episodes that the ads that we really like.
Ads.
Maybe Jacob can cut in a few of the images into the podcast. We'll see.